Hello viewer, I hope you're having an awesome day. I'm changing the intro. I still think that if you're taking the time of the day to listen to my yapping, it makes you my bestie. But I don't know, it just felt weird. I came up with it when I couldn't speak English as well. Also, the WhatsApp feels more complicated because to me as a poem, this is a legit question that you're supposed to answer honestly. And now I don't really like how native English speakers use it. Anyway, let's get to the topic. So I was actually in the middle of scripting a different video, but felt unsure about it and scripted, recorded, and almost finished editing another one. But as I was watching it, I decided that while I stand by what I said factually, it's unnecessarily mean to someone. I would much rather make broader points than target anyone. So let's try one more time. So this is why it's been like forever since my last upload, sorry. It's not just that I'm super busy, although I am super busy because I'm studying both translation and pedagogy at once and writing my master's thesis, and I am just overwhelmed with uni stuff. It's like morning to night classes and homework. I barely find time to eat and sleep, and I don't have much privacy to record anything. I had to wait for my roommate to leave. For once, I think my English degree does have something to do with the video topic. Both specializations I'm doing actually, because one thing that frustrates me and is the reason why I picked this topic to begin with is computer translation of AI-generated content targeted at kids. But let's start from the beginning. I'm from a generation that also started watching YouTube pretty early on. Granted, I wasn't an iPad kid. I watched it on a family computer that stood in the living room. But I got hooked on these Minecraft videos very quickly, and my parents had no idea what the appeal is. Just like now we don't understand like skibidi toilet. Crazy stuff though when you think about it. That might have been the only time I had a chance to date one of my idols. Even now, but back then especially, YouTube was just so different than any other form of media. It felt more genuine, personal, more diverse in what is available on it, with this sense of egalitarianism, because anyone can upload a video about anything. It's not like TV where you just need to like buy a station or something. With radio, there is very limited space available, and it's very expensive to participate. And of course, since some people can make this their career, that is also a motivator for many. Although from what I've observed, this financial success is not that predictable. At least the popular creators that I watch tend to say that they just got lucky, and they don't know like what type of specific advice you can give aside from like probably upload like regularly, stuff like that. Because throughout the years we've seen many people trying to tell you can manufacture the success if you only buy their course or stuff like that. I think there was one with like Team 10 and something like Paul Brothers. That was kind of a topic back then. For me personally, I just like using it as a creative outlet. I don't think it's realistic for me to expect to actually get some tangential reward for it, other than just the feeling of getting some things off my chest. But I think it would be redundant for me to describe all the ways YouTube is different from TV or other more traditional forms of media. You're here with me, this is like probably not the first YouTube video you're watching. So sorry for taking so long to get to my point. I just wanted to get out some of the reasons why I care so much first. Every now and then, there is a new little internet side hustle people are jumping at. Dropshipping, NFTs, now AI-generated YouTube videos that are supposedly super low effort and you can totally earn a ton of money with them. Supposedly, because as far as I'm not to worry. You can AI generate a script, make AI voice read it, generate some images or even short clips, or just download some stock footage. There are websites that allow you to do that for free. Sometimes when I run out of my own footage, I use Pixels or Pixabay2, and that's not AI, so that's cool. But you still have to edit it yourself, and I don't know the success rate for actually making money like that, because this market is already oversaturated, and those videos are not that great. I don't know how many kids are watching. I've also seen some of the Twitter gurus recommend outsourcing things to real human creators on Fiverr and then profiting of the videos, but that's super expensive and less detectable. I guess I wouldn't know that someone did that, and I don't think that's that wrong if they did that, because everyone did get paid in the end. But if you're starting out a YouTube channel, that's not a good idea. Maybe if you're already have a big one and kind of a channel where people aren't attached to you in any way. I feel like if someone else's voice showed up on my channel, that would be weird, right? But there are these bright side type of channels when the voice already kind of sounds AI generated, so but I don't think it is. It's just the voice acting is very specific. And by definition, this whole process is devoid of all the passion, the AI generation and the creativity I associate in my mind with YouTube content creation. YouTube is truly just getting started. There is something about this being said about AI generated content in many cases that seems almost malicious to me. I mean, Face's YouTube channel is quite a vague description. My channel is technically faceless because I don't show my face here. Even in videos when I show the rest of my body, I try to keep my face off frame. But this doesn't make making videos much easier. I still need footage, so there's nothing about it that would make it different from other YouTube channels when it comes to how easy it is to earn money with them. The special new thing that is changing YouTube, I guess, is generative AI. I mean, just look at this course description. You can pause my video and try telling me it doesn't look like any other side hustle scam. Pretending it's worth a bajillion of dollars, but you get it for super cheap or for free. But just sign up to his newsletter. That it's some special way to earn millions. But the very totally rich guy using it wants to profit from sending you stuff aside from this, and doesn't care that the market, or in this case YouTube, will get oversaturated with this shit pretty quickly, making it even less attractive. But you'll be super rich if you just trust him. Totally. Just trust him.
Welcome back, adventurers. Today we're diving into the ultimate 2025 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter RV motorhome, a blend of luxury, practicality, and state-of-the-art features that redefine the way we think about road trips. The 2025 Sprinter RV motorhome stands out with a refreshed aerodynamic design. Up front, you'll notice the bold Mercedes grille and new LED headlights that not only look sharp, but improve visibility on those late-night drives. The RV comes in multiple length options, so whether you're looking for something compact or a larger model to fit the whole family, there's a Sprinter to match your style.
This is not a big YouTube channel, but it's interesting how I'm pretty sure they just make these cars up. If you look closely, you can see the images are clearly AI generated. I tried to find this car, and of course Mercedes makes a ton of similar stuff, but I don't think this exact model exists. I googled the name in quotation marks with a few different variations of it, and there is no results for that aside from YouTube videos, and nothing from Mercedes itself. This channel actually hearts all the comments, including ones that either overtly point out that they are making shit up or are confused.
Do you have a link where this can be built and priced? I have looked everywhere on the net and my search results just keep giving Sprint Avance.
No answer, of course, just hearts. And making cars up is not that terrible of a crime, but what if it was something important? What if this was something that is supposed to be educational, or this has been talked about a ton already. And since you can AI generate videos of people, what if it was used to frame someone for something bad they didn't do, or the content was targeted at a more vulnerable audience, or YouTube doesn't allow not safe for work, so I guess we're safe from that. Just here. There's so much misinformation online already, and nowadays. I have a little sister who's in 4th grade, and she often watches YouTube on her phone on speakers in other people's presence because she doesn't like being alone. So I think I have a bit of an insight of what real life kids are watching. Because as an adult, when I see this type of content, I just immediately scroll away. So the algorithms know that I'm not interested. I couldn't really force myself to watch it. It's bad. And I talked with her about this stuff because I think we should build some level of media consumption consciousness in kids. We can't really prevent them from seeing stuff online, so let's try to give them knowledge about them. So let's try to give them knowledge about it, and don't tell them to seek bad stuff also. The first issue I'm seeing is nothing new and only tangentially related to AI. It's messaging itself. Recently I've noticed she watches a ton of the quite stereotypical brain rot content. A popular type of video is just some voices of often a man and a woman having an argument, and it's supposed to be text messages read out loud. I'm not sure if it's all written by generative AI, but it's text-to-speech, so also pretty low effort, and I decided to simply include it because of how weird it is and how popular it is, as a genre.
Hey, but this might sound ridiculous, but were you at your ex's house yesterday?
Huh? Of course not, babe. She is never gonna see me again. But why would you even think such a thing?
Bertha said she saw you.
Bertha? You can't be serious. She's like 600 pounds.
Oh, stop it. Her being well-fed has nothing to do with this.
Oh, no. It has everything to do with this. Because of her crumble cookie addiction, she can't get a man. But she doesn't want to be the only one in your friend group without one, so she tries to break us all up.
Okay, now you're being ridiculous. Now sure, she might be single, but she isn't insecure.
They just think about it. Mia was with Kyle for 7 years, and he was as loyal as they come. Then all of a sudden, Bertha catches him cheating, with no proof, by the way. Or take Tiana, for example. Her man was the perfect match, but Bertha, of all people, found him on Tinder? Since when is she on dating apps? Now I'm the last man standing. And once again, she sees me going to my ex's house.
I don't know what you want me to say. Maybe Bertha is like our little guardian angel, keeping us away from the bad men. She said that she saw you two through the bedroom window, and that you were shirtless. Do you have any proof that you weren't with your ex that night?
Actually, I do.
Is that the local graveyard? How could that possibly count as proof?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because my ex died in a car crash last week.
And then the whole bus clapped. And the ones I've seen in Polish are honestly worse oftentimes. They also try to give the guy some slam dunk, mocking fat women every 10 seconds, with the sounds, the horns. It's unwatchable. Why? And also, I think more of them lean into a racist territory. Although I'll get to it in a moment. Why did they name the bad woman Bertha? That's a joke in itself. I think there's a character named Big Bertha or something, but it's literally a meme fat woman. Name. And I looked into the comments, and all the kids watching were commenting as if it's all real. Most of them on the boyfriend's side, of course, the vast majority. None of them questioning the reality of what they're watching. I'm European, but I know what 600 pounds looks like on a person because I've seen some clips from the show named My 600 Pounds Life. But for all people who are normal and don't know that, at that point you're pretty immobile, and kind of on the verge of death. So no, that's not something you're seeing, just a fat woman. No, that's being on the TV worthy, Yeah, this is not real. And also, as the thin woman, because I've seen memes about the fat friend of the woman stopping men from trying to pick her up because supposedly she's jealous. That doesn't really happen. Usually we're just protecting each other, so having a friend to get us away from a man is really useful because rejecting a man is very scary. She's not doing it against our will. And if it did happen, women are not stupid. We'd also see that, like, people keep on saying that interacting with women is like 5D chess, and women's relationships are so much complicated and complex, and women are just socialized to be like more. No, I mean maybe, but in this case we would have noticed. Okay, in this case it's like, yeah, I don't think that happens ever as a friendship dynamic. For a long period of time, because you just don't do something like, hey girl, leave me alone. Also, with as terribly as the society treats bigger women generally, I don't think it's that impossible for them to find a man who's interested. Men themselves can keep on saying that about, like, oh, a woman can always get a man, but the other way around, they're so poor. Sorry, maybe let's not get into that. I heard like 3 videos like that played back to back as my little sister was watching them, and I just asked, don't you think that it's weird that the woman is always in the wrong in these and has to be humbled? And usually there's also jokes about how fat she is, because that was the case for like all the videos that she just watched. And she paused, looked at me for like solid 8 seconds with those round eyes of hers. In complete silence, kind of creepy, and then said, yeah. So I asked, why do you think that is? And she just asked, like, why? So I told her, I just don't think whoever posted this respects women very much. But like, she's 10. I don't want to give her an intro to feminism. I would rather she doesn't know how terribly misogynistic people can be, because it's a painful realization, and I don't want her to feel like, you know, she can't do things that she likes doing just because she's a girl, because she's really into like math and a lot of like tomboyish stuff, and I don't want to like be saying, oh, society is pushing in. No, do your thing, please. But also I don't want her to get radicalized into some weird right-wing ideology by goddamn YouTube shorts of all things. Point 2, we all watched 8 Bomber Guy's plagiarism video, I assume, or at least know like what was in it, vaguely. I don't remember if he mentioned this type of plagiarism. I feel like he might have. But what I noticed are videos just copying foreign content and translating it without credit.
Seriously, son? I spent 20 years providing food, shelter, even clothes, and this is how you repay me?
Hey, now that wasn't even me. My girlfriend Haley did that, or maybe Tiana. Hell, could have even been Ava. Whichever one it was, I promise I won't talk to anymore.
I don't care about that, Michael. Can't you see? My entire car is ruined. And the worst part is, this isn't the first time something like this happens. Friday, I got a complaint saying you nearly crashed my Ferrari into a family of 4, or the week before. And you not only did a hit and run, but a hit and run on a goddamn cop car.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Those weren't my best moments, but I promise I'm gonna be safer now. I won't speed in front of cops, run any red lights, or even drunk drive. From now on, I'll be a law-abiding citizen.
No, you have become dumb and irresponsible. So it's time we make a change. No more driving my cars, no more drinking alcohol, and no more taking my money. From now on, you will work for your own stuff.
Dad, help! I was just coming back from a party and might have had a drink or two. Now this cop is telling me to put my hands in the air and that this car was reported stolen. If this is true and I do a breathalyzer test, I'm definitely going to prison.
Well then, I hope you look good in orange. Just 10 minutes ago, I saw one of my cars was out of the driveway, so I gave the police a quick call, telling them to be on the lookout for it.
No, Dad, please. I promise I won't do it again. For real this time. Tell them it was a misunderstanding.
Nah, since you didn't want to be a man, I'm gonna let Big Lenny turn you into a woman.
I found these separately by accident while looking for examples to the first point, and I put them side by side for you with the Polish one muted, but anyone who can speak Polish can confirm this is the same story, almost line by line. The disgusting rape joke is still there because apparently prison rape is funny. I don't know, maybe it's the same person with 2 separate channels in different languages and it's just not shown anywhere because they didn't anticipate another given them the time of day. That would make editing this easier. It's just the most blatant example of this I found in a while. Also, I think that maybe because I've watched both, because I had to scroll through both of those channels to find this video again on them. The content doesn't like fully overlap. That's this one video, but for example, this like rich spoiled guy is kind of a recurring character in the English-speaking one, and he's like, and there is also some about like men who are doing crime together as two characters recurring. But in the Polish one, we have like an India delivery driver being like the main recurring character, and it's like jokes about his weird way of speaking and him being like, how do I just think it's racist. Maybe let's not get into the details of it. It's very just stereotypes. I guess if that's the case, if it was like the same person doing the channel, this is not academics, so self-plagiarism isn't a big deal. I was, if there's one person doing it, which I don't think it is, I was about to say sorry, but honestly, I'm not sorry. Your content is terrible and harmful. Do better. Whether there's one or two on view, I just assumed it might be one person because it would be easier to edit this video if you had like the original, because you can see the text messages being like, yeah. I don't know. But I have seen so many other examples of it, often from channels who are even more respected than this. I just haven't caught the source text. And how do I know these videos were copies from foreign material if I haven't even looked for the original materials? That's the point 3. Bad translation. No, this one for this video isn't that terrible, but I've seen very bad translation. I can hear English syntax in Polish videos for kids. I can hear literal translation of English, which hurts, especially when it's collocations that do have their Polish equivalents. This is called Cross-lingual plagiarism. I only see it done from English to Polish because that's the only two languages I know well enough to detect stuff like that, and English is way more popular than Polish, so there's more to plagiarize from, and it's easier. And I would say, because there's more Polish people who watch English-speaking YouTube than the other way around. And I get it. Translation is hard. Oftentimes when I translate the text, I also struggle with some things. There is that constant battle between being faithful to the text on the literal level and on the level of the experience the reader is supposed to have. Although for them, that should not be an issue because they should try to disconnect their translation from the original anyway. I say as if I thought that there is some actual effort put in there, just without skills to back it up, and it's not just sloppy machine translation. And it's annoying, and having contact with language like that can also shape our own vernacular. One of my translation professors mentioned that he found a super interesting book, but then he started reading it, realized how badly translated it is, and just left it because things like that just make us stupid. For my MA thesis, I am transcribing an early 18th century manuscript, so that's before spelling got standardized, and I can't and don't have time to give you any details because this video would be even longer than this, and I already put a lot of personal stuff into it. But after spending some time with it as like the main text that I'm writing about, I can't spell anymore. I wasn't great at it. I might be a bit dyslexic. The genes definitely run in my family and demonstrates themselves strong in some of my close relatives. But I feel like I'm going backwards. I just had to, now that I'm writing the script, correct my spelling of the word century because my dumb brain decided that it's spelled with an S, and I feel like that's what the scribe of the manuscript I'm working on would also like spelled with S. And I am not a child. I have a bachelor's degree in English philology, and I like studying. I like working on my language. I read and I write a lot, and I'm a bit worried, like on a pedagogical level, on how will that impact the kids. And I don't want to be too alarmist. I don't think it will cause vast irreparable damage. but I predict it can create some difficulties in learning. I don't know. This is just my hypothesis. Unstudied. Like I don't have source other than that seems to me like it would be a logical conclusion. I feel like it's a bit out of my field, but maybe someone from the psychology or first language teaching could test it. I feel like it's kind of like with the attention span problem, which we are noticing is getting shorter and shorter in not only kids but adults too. I can see it in myself. My attention span is not as good as it was years ago. But as a possible future English teacher in Poland, I don't think that's for me to tell. I don't know what experiment, this would not probably impact their English skills because they're not watching. Okay, maybe they are watching it in English and I just don't know. Anyhow, I don't know what the experiment would look like to test it and how to do it ethically, but with controlling for all the possible variables. It's deliberately feeding this to kids' brains would be evil, probably. I mean, I've seen stories of parents saying their kids started speaking with different accents because of cartoons, which is also interesting and is also an example of their first language skills being impacted by by the media they consume. Maybe skills not the best word for it because there's nothing wrong with speaking with a British accent because you watched Peppa Pig. But it's I'd rather the kids didn't speak with English syntax in Polish. Like it's not really. That's not like some gatekeeping thing. It's just speak correctly. You get all the opportunities you could to speak correctly. And point 4. Another thing is, I think kids deserve quality media too. Just because they're less critical of what an adult would be critical of, doesn't mean we shouldn't provide them our best. This is one thing that had annoyed me in YouTube Kids content for a while. It's often incredibly low effort. The only thing that the creators seem to care about is maintaining the kids' attention and incentivizing them to like and subscribe and click the bell and all the screaming and just doing that 5 times per video just to make sure they do it. It's for kids. It shouldn't be an excuse for it being bad. I think some of the best content for children is that which adults can also enjoy. See DreamWorks films. Although as adults we also need to just stop trying to make everything about us. We have our own stuff, but things for children should really be made in their best interest and not just to make us money with as little effort and care as possible. See, my parents didn't really understand why I liked watching these Minecraft gameplay videos. My dad, a huge gamer, still refuses to give Minecraft a try because he doesn't like that the graphics look so unrealistic, as if that was part of the appeal. So, I sometimes knew what the things were so bad when I was a kid, like bad on a quality level. And I think media targeted at kids can be used as an educational tool, also on the moral level, but more importantly, it shouldn't do the opposite of teaching them what is right. I don't know. I don't want to sound like a boomer just because I feel nostalgic about the things I watched as a kid. But I feel like back in the day it would come with lessons about kindness and acceptance, even though I'm aware it wasn't all like this. Some of it was very bad too. Sorry, my recording stopped and I decided to not redo the whole thing and just continue from now on, so the sound sounds different. That's why. Generally speaking, we are seeing plagiarism getting more and more popular in ways that haven't been possible until recently because of the rise of generative AI. It is everywhere and it is incredibly normalized. I honestly did not anticipate that society would accept the devaluing of artists this fast when the issue was first showing up on the horizon. And I mean it when I use these words. Even if you are not directly stealing your content from someone, if you aren't the one who made it and you act as though you were, that's plagiarism. the question of authorship of AI-generated content is kind of murky. Some people would maybe credit the programmist. I'd say that there just is no author, but it definitely isn't the prompter. If someone commissioned me to make them an artwork and described everything that they want, and then I painted it, I am the author of the artwork. Then them typing it into a program instead of telling a human artist doesn't change the fact that they are not the person who created it. And the output being so low quality is just an insult to the injury, because that may get better with time. I don't think we should rely on look how bad it looks when it comes to like arguing against AI generated content, because you can see how much better it looks now than what it did like 2 years ago, a year ago. I don't see time correctly. I'm not sure where it's like first boomed. So yeah, what do we do? I think that the same way we are now teaching reading with understanding, we should teach some sort of internet literacy, especially when it comes to messaging, and not just for kids. My parents' generation would tell us not to trust things we see on the internet and then trust every sketchy Facebook post out there. Like, I'm not saying my parents specifically every time and so on. I'm not to insult my parents, but there is this thing about people this age. When if the friend shared it on Facebook, that must mean that that's true. And yeah, the difference now is, I guess, that we are raised like this. We know, and because our parents were teaching us about internet safety was always like, what do you know? I do know. I've been there, child. I've been in your exact position, and now I know better. So. It's difficult to have these conversations because without sounding like you're looking down on somebody. But we should be able to be more effective with warning young people without demonizing internet and social media, than our parents. Maybe do that. Hey, I've been there too. I think that would be like a bit more personal. This honestly goes for media literacy in general, but I think we should focus on the internet more than we used to when it comes to this discussion, because it has become such a big part of our lives. We had this conversation in one of our classes, and the lecturer asked, "Hey, do you think children read more or less nowadays?" And some of people answered. Yeah, way less, because they're not reading books. I remember I didn't get to say anything. I was about to ask, read what? And that was his point, read what? Because they do read way more than his generation, because they would just talk face to face, and now we sit online and read like Twitter or whatever. I just left Twitter, by the way. So, we read. A ton is just the quality of what we read is, not novels. It's not encyclopedias. It can be, but as like the bulk of it is not that great. But I think that's all for me for now. I hope at least something that I've said was in any way useful or interesting to you. If you have any more thoughts regarding this topic, maybe I didn't mention something or you disagree, or maybe you have any comments on the art I'm making in the background. This piece is inspired by the album and song Black Widow by In This Moment. It's kind of an old time lapse, but I haven't used it on my channel, and I haven't made anything new recently because I just don't have time. Anyway, if you have something to say, I would love it if you left a comment in the comment section down below. And for now, just stay safe and make yourself some warm tea and, get yourself something sweet. It's almost Christmas, I know. I'm not sure when I will release this, but it's cold outside, so take care. Alright, Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrating, and peace.